In this video, we are going to learn what's entailed in creating a new template. And you can see I have HotDocs Developer open on my system at this point. I have a library in which I want to create this template. And as part of the template creation process, I'll be creating a new shortcut to this template here in this library. So the first step is to highlight the area in the library where you want this new shortcut to this new template to be located. So here in my family law library, if I wanted to create a new template and have the shortcut to that template in this agreements folder, I would highlight this agreements folder. Then I'm going to click on this new template button, and that brings up the new template dialog. Now in HotDocs 11, the default template format is going to be docx. But you can see if you click on the drop down here that there are a number of different formats that you could conceivably choose from. If you're using an older version of HotDocs, say HotDocs 10, the default format for creating a word processor template would be RTF. So if you're still using HotDocs 10, you would want to make sure one way or the other that RTF is selected here. If you're using WordPerfect, for example, you would choose WPT as your preferred file format. We're going to go ahead and stick with docx as the template type that we're going to be creating. The next thing we need to do is indicate the name of the template, the underlying file name. I'm just going to go ahead and type in separation agreement. This is going to be a template that allows us to produce separation agreements. So I'm simply going to call the template separation agreement here. You'll see underneath the file name field there is a target folder indication. This isn't a real field that you can click into and edit. This is more of an indication where this template is going to be created. Right now the template is set to be created in what I've specified as my default templates folder, which on this system is on the D drive in a folder called training. If you want to change the location of this particular template that you're creating, you'll need to click on the browse button, and then you'll be able to browse to a different location to create that template. Otherwise, you just need to make sure that there's a file name in this field. Now, when you move out of this field one way or the other, if the appropriate file extension hasn't already been appended to the name of the template, HotDocs will go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and move into the title field, and you can see here that HotDocs has taken the file name that I specified and it's suggesting that as the title of the template. When we talk about a template's title, we're talking about what appears in the shortcut for that template in the library. So if I want to modify this in any way, I can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I can just leave it the same as the file name. The description field, as with other boxes that we've seen, say in creating answer files or new libraries, is completely optional, but you may want to put something in here so that if a user highlights the shortcut to this template in the library, they'll be able to see a description of the template over here on the Properties tab. This might be useful for less experienced users so that they understand fully what kind of template it is and what kind of documents it produces. Now we're not going to talk too much about shared component files here. You'll see that this is a drop down. If you are going to be tying this template to or associating this template with what we call a shared component file, which is sometimes also referred to as a master component file, then you would go ahead and click on a drop down at this point and associate this new template with that shared component file. There is another video that discusses shared component files in more detail. You may want to consult that if you would like more information about how to create a template so that it can use a shared component file. Otherwise, if you're just creating this as a standalone template, in other words, not associated with any sort of shared or master component file, then you just leave this as is. Down here in the initial contents section of the new template dialog is where we specify what the template is going to look like initially. You can see that there are three different options here. The first of which is an empty option, meaning that if you were to click on OK at this point, HotDocs would create a blank template, wouldn't have anything in it. Of course, at that point, you would go through the process of developing the template, but you'd also have to make sure that you get text and other formatting in that template file. That is something that you may want to do on occasion, but more often than not, what you're going to be doing is basing this template on another document. So you say you've got this document that you want to use as the basis for this template. It has all of the language that you may need in any given assembled document. It's all been formatted and styled correctly. That's the document that you effectively want to turn into a HotDocs template and start using HotDocs to produce custom documents going forward. So that, again, is what these other two options are for. If the document that you want to use as the initial contents of this template is something you have open in Word right now, then you would click on Current Open Word Processor Document. If the document's not open in Word, then you would choose this final option, this Other File option. And then you would need to browse to that document so HotDocs knows where it is, and then it can use that as the basis for the template going forward. I'm going to click on this Browse button, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on my desktop, because that's where I have placed a document called Separation Agreement. So I'm going to go ahead and I can either single click on that document and then click on OK, or I can double click. I'm just going to click on double click to make it easy. And then HotDocs fills in this field here with the full file path and file name for that document. So I've indicated here that I'm now going to use this separation agreement document as the basis for this new separation agreement template. So again, to avoid any confusion, this is the actual template file name here up in the file name field. Down here is where you would indicate what document you want to use as the basis for the template. I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And then HotDocs creates the template. What it does is it either launches Word if Word's not already running, or it simply creates the template within Word if it's already open. You can see it's down here now on my taskbar. So if I go ahead and click on Word, you'll see what looks like an exact copy of the document you used as the basis for this template, but this is an actual HotDocs template now. And you'll be able to tell that for certain by going to the HotDocs ribbon. So I'm going to click on this HotDocs ribbon here, and you'll see now available all of the different features and functions available to you in developing a HotDocs template. We are now in the next video going to go through the process of developing this template, specifically creating new HotDocs variables and associated variable fields.